Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As usual, before we start our lesson, kita ni akan mulakan dengan berselawat ke atas Rasulullah SAW selama 2 minit. Mari kita ni sama-sama membaca 3 niat penting sebelum memulakan selawat ke atas Rasulullah SAW. Yang pertama, kami niatkan selawat kami untuk memenuhi perintah Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Yang kedua, kami niatkan selawat kami untuk memenuhi hak Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dan yang ketiga, kami niatkan selawat kami untuk mendapat syafaat Rasulullah di akhirat kelak. 2 minutes from now.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد 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 اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد
Doa sebelum belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min hazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Ya Allah, bukakanlah ke atas kami hikmat-hikmatmu dan limpahilah ke atas kami khazanah rahmatmu. Wahai yang maha pemurah lagi maha penyayang.
Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ya Rabbku, lapangkanlah untukku dadaku dan mudahkanlah untukku urusanku dan lepaskanlah kekakuan dari lidahku, supaya mereka mengerti perkataanku.
Amin.
Amin, amin, amin. Ya Rabbal Alamin. Our next topic for this week will be simple scatter diagram. Please get ready with your notes, page 107 until 109. And pay attention, every topic you have 2 tasks. Number 1, you need to complete your notes. Refer to your guideline notes. And task number 2, complete your worksheet, your PDF, by referring to guideline worksheet. Okay, now, simple scatter diagram. Scatter graphs are used to represent and compare relationship, in other words, correlations between 2 sets of data. If there is a strong correlation, a line of best fit, line drawn as close as possible to all points can be drawn. Okay, from the word itself, scatter means disperse, berjurit. Okay, so your points will be elsewhere in your graph. Alright, that is one point. The second point, for scatter graph, you will be given two set of data. Okay, you are given two set of data and you need to compare you need to compare and observe the relationship between these two data. Okay, I think you already learned about line of best fit in your science, right? You already learned your line of best fit in science, so it's not that difficult for you to understand this topic, although this topic is new in your scheme, but you already learned about this in your science subject. Okay, and that's it. I don't have to explain about line of best fit. You already know that one, but a bit lah. If there is a strong correlation, okay, if there is a strong correlations between the two graphs, okay, between the two data set, if there is a strong correlations, a line of best fit will be possible to be drawn. Okay, will be possible to be drawn. Types of correlation. The first one is positive correlation. Correlation is positive when the values increase together, and you can see the graph moving to the right like this. And this one we call as positive correlation. The next one, no correlation. No correlation means zero correlation. We cannot decide the graph moving towards left or right, so zero correlation, and we call this no correlation. Nada ubong kait niya. And the last one, negative correlation. Negative correlation. Correlation is negative when one value decreases as the other increases. When one value decreases as the other increases. And on the graph, you can see the graph moving to the left like this. When you see the graph moving to the left like this one we call as negative correlation. Okay, carry on with example 1. The table shows the times taken and distances traveled by a dot driver in 10 journeys on one day. Okay, here is your plan graph, and the question is, draw a scatter diagram of this information with time on the horizontal. Here we have specific requirement. Okay, the specific requirement here is the time must be drawn on the horizontal line. So your time must be at the x-axis. Alright, now bear in mind, scatter diagram, the basic idea of scatter diagram is we're going to compare two data set. Okay, we're going to see the relationship between the two data set, either they correlate each other or no. Okay, that is the basic, the key idea of scatter diagram. Okay, ingat itu ah. Now let us plot the diagram, the scatter diagram. Like the other graph, we need to draw the interval. Then we plot all the points. And before that, don't forget to label. You need to label your graph. And the first one, 10 minutes equal to 5.4. Now, be careful here. Here we have 4 and here we have 6. Okay, so where is the 5? The 5 is at the middle of this small square. So, 4.2 at the middle of this small square, 4.4, 4.6, 4.8, and 5. Okay, and so forth. So, your 10 is 5.4. 12 is 5.6. 5.9. 14 is 6.6. 17 is 8.8. 19 is 8.5. 3 is 1.6. 10 is 5.2. 13 is 6.7. 11 is 6 kilometer. And the last point, 15, 7.3. Okay, the next question is part B. Draw a line of best fit on your diagram. Line of best fit refers to a line through a scatter plot of data points that best expresses the relationship between those points. So, this line of best fit is a straight line drawn through the maximum number of points on a scatter plots, balancing about an equal number of points above and below the line. Okay, here is the maximum scatter plot. So, how you're going to draw your line of best fit? I will show you here. Okay, this is what you see in your graph, right? Then, take your ruler and you try to balance like this. You try to balance the points above and below the line like this. Okay, so if you do like this, you can estimate you can make the adjustment. So here we try to divide the lines. No, we try to draw the line between points yang ada di sini nih. Okay, maksudnya here are the points, right? Here are the points. So the line must be balancing these points. Okay, dia je boleh di atas lebih banyak, macam mana di atas lebih banyak kan? Dia je boleh di bawah lebih banyak like this. Dia je boleh. So it must be balanced. Okay, so the line of best fit must be, you try to balance the points above and below the line. Estimate tiap. Okay, boleh faham ah? Like this. See? If I put it here, so I will have if I put it here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 points above and sini kan, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the bottoms. You get the point? Boleh faham apa yang dimaksudkan? So, your line of best fit will be like this. If you still confused, you can ask me later. Let's see, if a dog driver takes 9 minutes, how far in kilometers will you expect the journey to have been? Okay, you look at 9 minutes and this one. Okay, can you please draw that line in your notes? So, it is 4.8 kilometer. Okay. D, how long will you expect a journey of 5 kilometer to take? Okay, now you look at the vertical line, your distance kilometer. Look for 5 and down to your time. The answer is 9.8 minutes. Okay. Example 2. The temperature of a cup of tea is recorded over time. The results are shown in the table below. Questions A. Draw a scatter diagram for the data above. Okay, now your diagram in your notes is not that clear. So can you please draw like this? Can you please trace your big square like this? Okay. Tracing kamu punya big square tu. Same goes to your vertical line. Much better, right? Now, plot all the points. We start from 0. 0 is 95. Again, if you can't see your graph clearly, you can draw the small line between 90 to 100 because we're going to find out 95. We're going to plot that 95. 0, 95. So here is 92, 94, 96, 98. So 95 somewhere here. Alright, like this. Moving on with 1, 89. Sama juga, if you can see the line clearly, you can draw the small line between that 0 and 2, and that one at the middle of the second and the third lines. Okay, 1 is 89. 2 minutes 81. Repeat the same things. Look carefully. Graph is very important. Jangan salah plot. So 2 is 81. Moving on with 4. 4 is 76. This one. Okay, 5 is 72. 5 is at the middle of 4 and 6, between 4 and 6. 5. And plot 72. 8 is 55. Last one, 10. 10 is 45. Okay, so here is your scatter diagram. You can draw your line of best fit walaupun Indah kena minta. So, as I mentioned earlier, explained earlier, your line of best fit must be balancing the points above and below it. Alright, like this one. Now, questions B. Describe the correlation between the time and the temperature of the cup of tea. Now, when the question asks you about correlations, automatic inside your mind must be it's either positive correlation, zero correlations, or negative correlation. If you see here, the line of best fit, the scattered diagram moving towards here to the left. Okay, if it's moving towards the left, so it have negative correlation. Okay, the next one, question C. Describe the relationship shown in the scatter diagram. Okay, I repeat myself, the key of this scatter diagram is actually to make a comparison, okay, to make a comparison between two datasets. We want to see the relationship between the two datasets. Like here in this example, the two datasets are temperature and the times. And we want to find out the relationship between this temperature and timing. Okay, so you can give any relevant answer for this type of questions. For example, here my answer here, the temperature decrease as time increases. Now, if you can observe here, as the time increase, this one, as the time increase, the temperature falls down. Okay, falls down from 95 to 45. So one of the relevant answer is the temperature decreases as time increases. Okay? The next one, questions D. What is the estimate for the temperature of a cup of tea after 6 minutes? Okay, now you look at 6 minutes, then you read the graph. Alright? You just read the graph and you should get 65 degrees Celsius. Okay, last questions for this part, for this example. Questions E. Explain why it might not be appropriate to use scatter diagram to best estimate the temperature of a cup of tea after 45 minutes. If this type of questions coming out in exam, don't leave it blank. Try to observe and think about relevant answer for this type of questions. Okay. Now, since this is not, I want you to write this answer carefully. Okay. Boleh pendek actually in exam, whatever your answer, as long as it is acceptable, boleh diterima. But since here is your notes, can you please copy down the proper answer? Answer E. Okay. Walaupun panjang salin, jangan di shortcutkan. Okay. I'm going to check your notes, so make sure you hand in your notes later on. Okay. Now, possible answer for this E. It will be inappropriate to find an estimate for the temperature after 45 minutes, as 45 minutes is beyond the range of the data. Meaning to say, it is because the temperature of the cup of tea will not continue to drop forever. After a certain amount of time, the cup of tea will reach room temperature and will stay at this temperature. So, this could be before 45 minutes have elapsed. Okay, logic je tu kan? See? Think logically. Actually, jawapan simple saja. Okay? I repeat the answer. It will be inappropriate to find an estimate for the temperature after 45 minutes, as 45 minutes is beyond the range of the data. It is because the temperature of the cup of tea will not continue to drop forever. After a certain amount of time, the cup of tea will reach room temperature and will stay at this temperature. This could be before 45 minutes have elapsed. Okay, here is the key informations of this data analysis. We have covered your bar chart, pie chart, frequency table, line graph, and scatter diagram. Okay, if you're still confused, you need to revise again how the bar chart looks like, how the pie charts look like, how to construct frequency table, and what is line graph, and what is the key of this scatter diagram. Okay, you need to revise by your own, read again, practice again. Okay, by doing this will be the last part of data analysis. We have done this topic, Alhamdulillah. And if you're still confused, again, you need to revise. You need to read again your notes and examples. And thank you so much. Don't forget to complete your notes and your worksheet and hand in into your Google Classroom. Alright? And macam biasa, we will end up with doa. Mudah-mudahan whatever that we learned today, kamu beroleh manfaatnya. Alright? Thank you class, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Doa selepas belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma inni astaudi'uka ma 'allamtani fardudhu ilayya inda hajati ilaihi wala tansani ya rabbal alamin. Ya Allah, sesungguhnya aku menitipkan padamu ilmu-ilmu yang telah engkau ajarkan kepadaku, dan kembalikanlah kepadaku sewaktu aku memerlukannya kembali. Dan janganlah engkau lupakan aku kepada ilmu itu, wahai Tuhan yang memiliki semesta alam. Amin.